Hello everyone, welcome back to another lecture on basics of news editing. In the last few classes, we have been discussing on headlines and different kinds of headlines. We have also discussed the do's and don'ts that we have to keep in mind when we are writing a headline. I also asked you to upload the notes of the completed portions. Some of you have done it excellently, some others are yet to do it. I'm saying for the sake of yours. Okay. Anyway, in today's lecture, let's continue kinds of headlines. Today, let's get acquainted with some more examples. Banner head. You already know what it is. Banner headlines are attention grabbers because it's set in the full page width. So in that previous slide, I couldn't show you some examples, but here in this PPT, I have included certain images to make it clear to you. See, this is a picture, a news item which published in the daily The Times of India. See the headline, Rahul trashes ordinance shames government. So this is the headline and see how does it covers. It covers the full page width of that newspaper. The banner headlines otherwise known as steamer. I hope you remember it. So this is a kind of headline. We have already discussed it. And next type of headline is cross line head. So what is cross line head? It does not always span the full width of the page. So, see the difference between banner head and cross line head. So, the cross line head, it does not cover the full width of a page, but it covers all the columns of the story. See, in this news item, we can see 4 columns. This news item which is printed in five columns. And the headline, it covers or it spans across all the columns of the story. That is cross line head. All the columns of the story. The headline covers all the columns of the story is known as cross line head. And banner head, the headline, it covers the full page width of the newspaper. I hope it is clear to you. The next one is flush left head. We have already discussed this same with the same example. Don't you remember what it is? Yes. Suppose if a headline consists of 2 or more lines, all the lines is left aligned or it's set flush left. Probably the lines do not have to be equal in width or set full, but all the lines should be left aligned. So that is known as flush left head. The next one is standing head. Standing, which means static. The headline will be same. See, for example, film review. When you read newspapers, you come across certain pages. That specific space is allotted to publish film review. So, whichever the film it is, whatever the content it is, it doesn't matter. Always the headline will be one and the same. Suppose it is a film review, sometimes it is a news regarding sports or something related to some recurring content. So this is known as standing head. Clear? Next one is feature headlines. This type of headlines consist only 3 or 4 words and it does not have a subject or a verb. See the examples given here. Dollars for scholars. Dollars for scholars. Only three words. Cafeteria blues. After reading this headline, we don't really understand what exactly it is, but it creates an enthusiasm with that three words. And one of the other peculiarities of the headline, it do not have a subject or verb. So this type of headline is known as feature headline. Then, hanging intention. I hope you remember. After flash left headline, in the previous slide, we come across this type of headline that is hanging intention. This type of headline consists of three lines, and the second line and third line are intended. The second line is intended once, and the third line is intended twice. So this is the example. So I have typed that example in the word page at that time in that video. I hope you remember it. So this is hanging intention. The next one is inverted pyramid. This also we have discussed. So this is the structure of inverted pyramid headline. The definition is also given here. The first line fills the entire column. For example, if a news article consists of four columns, the first line it covers the entire column, and the next line consumes a little less space compared to the first line. So this is how it structured. So this is known as inverted pyramid. A headline in the form of an inverted pyramid is known as inverted pyramid headline. And usually we follow inverted pyramid structure to write news articles. I hope you remember that you have studied in the previous semester. This is an example of some more examples of inverted pyramid headline. You can go through this. See, consist of two or three lines. These are the peculiarities of inverted pyramid headline. The first one is it consists of two or three lines. Then each line is shorter than the previous one and it is centered too. In this example, it's not clear, but this is the actual example. So this one you have to keep in mind. The second line should be shorter than the first one, and also it should be centered. Usually used in a single column news story. Usually it used in single column. Okay, see, these are some of the examples you can see here. The example is clear. So I hope it is very clear to you now. Then, centered headline. Type of headline is centered above the column. See, a single column. See here, you can see that. Suppose this is the news item. Okay, this is a news item. It published in a single column, and the headline is centered above the column. So this is known as centered headline. This is how it looks like. Okay, this is centered headline. Then next one is kicker. What is kicker? Kicker is also known as tagline. A line that introduces the headline can be underlined for emphasis. Do you get it? I know you are confused. Anyway, this is the definition. First thing is kicker is a tagline. Okay, another name for kicker is tagline. It will be clear in this example. See, this is the headline. 5 inches of rain don't dampen festivities. Rain and rain. See, this is the headline. And kicker means, I hope this definition will be more clear. Consists of one line of secondary over one or more lines of primary. See, here you can see two lines. This headline consists of two lines, and out of these two lines, which one is more important or which one is primary line? Yes, this one, the line which is written in bold letters, rain and rain. Okay, and the secondary line, it supports the primary line. Primary, secondary, you know the meaning of these words, primary and secondary. Secondary means something which support the primary. So here, rain and rain, and this 5 inches of rain don't dampen festivities is the secondary line. So in some here, see, Dhoni plays a decisive role. 5-wicket victory over RR takes CSK to top of points table. So Dhoni plays a decisive role. This is the primary line. The secondary line, and it is underlined too, to support the primary line. See the definition here. A line that introduces the headline can be underlined for emphasis. So, in this case, this line which is underlined is known as kicker. So, in simple way, we can say like this: kicker, it is a tagline. It is a secondary line which is underlined to support the primary line. Okay, so Dhoni plays a decisive role. This is the head, and another head will also be there, which should be underlined. Probably it will be underlined, and it supports the primary one. So this secondary line, which is underlined, is known as the kicker. Clear? Then hammerhead. It is exactly opposite to kicker. See, here the same example, rain and rain. The primary one is rain and rain. It is written above, and the secondary line is written below the primary one. So in this case, if the secondary line writes below the primary, that is known as hammer, and if the secondary line it writes above the primary one, is known as kicker. So this is both kicker and hammer both play the same role, but the place in which it has posted or placed, depending upon that place, the name varies. If the supporting or the secondary line placed above the primary line, it is kicker, and if it is placed below the primary line, is known as hammer. Is it interesting? Okay, the next one is side saddle heads. Oh my god, what is this side saddle heads? The answer is there in the name itself. See this example. Some news articles, it uh, depicts the headline in one side. Okay, here this news article consists of 4 to 5 columns, and the headline It appears just above the first column, or sometimes it is written as a column itself. It should be placed in one side of the news site article. So this type of headline is known as side saddle heads. And we have come across this rules for writing sentences headlines. Okay, these points are already discussed. I'm not reading it once again. You can go through it later. Then rules. Uh, you already know. We have to use abbreviations and don't begin the headline with a number. These points are already discussed, and you can go through it later. And one more type of headline is there, that is deck. Oh my god, what is deck? Have you heard about double decker buses? Okay, deck is a kind of a double decker bus. The definition is a second headline under the first, smaller in size. It's a kind of kicker, I will say that. A headline under the first, which means hammer, a kind of hammer. Sometimes I went wrong, I'm so sorry for that. But it should be smaller in size. See, here is an example. Here the headline is Hard Ops Girl Does Triathlon. This is a flushed left headline. Okay, and here below this headline, you can see a supporting headline, a supporting sentence, which is written in small size, and it supports the main head. So this is known as depth. Clear? This is depth. I hope it is clear to you. So these are the types of headlines given in your syllabus. We have covered one module of basics of news editing. In case if you have any doubts, feel free to ask me. I will clear it for you. And do not forget to prepare your own notes with the help of this PPT. Okay, as I said earlier, I'm not going to give you pre-written notes for you. Okay, you know that's not my style. I usually explain things to you and I will make you to write it. It's why I'm doing that. It's not to consume my time. It's to help you. Once you prepare your notes, it will be imprinted in your memory. And later, when you go through your own notes, it will be really helpful for you to do the revision and perform well in your examination. Okay, with this, I'm winding up today's lecture. Thank you.